Hi, it's Rabbi Lewis wishing you an early Shabbat shalom. And I will confess, sort of a strange series of thoughts going through my head this morning. So it's one of those go with me for a bit mornings. But I've been thinking about the undeniably psychedelic nature of children's television. And I'm going to say I'm not insinuating or implying that there's usage of any illicit substances that go into this, but talking about just the visuals that appear. I mean, most of us learn to count to 12 with this magical pinball machine on Sesame Street with a flash of lights and colors that would be worthy of a Pink Floyd light show. Mr. Rogers was always one short trolley ride away from the world of make-believe. And anybody whose kids were watching Yo Gabba Gabba not that long ago, I mean, what was that? But again, I'm not implying that anybody needed substances to do this, but they were opening the door and expressing pure and complete unbridled imagination, and in an appealing way that engaged our minds and encouraged us or whoever was watching to think of the world not just as it is, but as it could be. And one show that started coming on about the time I was in college, and my first round of grad school was this British show called The Teletubbies. A lot of us probably remember it. I think it may still be on in some places, but they had this imaginary world of these creatures that worshipped this sun god that would rise and set, and there was always the smiling, laughing face of this baby appearing in the sun god. And in this world, it's these creatures trying to live as though they were pleasing this sun god, baby laughing, and make it giggle and happy. And it is kind of a beautiful thought that this is what we're teaching our children, is not that we are in direct contact with a deity, but we live as though we are trying to please that deity and think about the ways that we could make God smile. And why did this come to my mind today is that in PARASHAT NASO, this is a second portion in the book of Numbers, we have the priestly benediction. And the first line is, Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless and keep you. And the second line is, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may God's face come down to you and treat you with kindness. Now, it's literally, may God's face come down to you and be kind to you. And I usually choose to translate this as, what would God's face being kind to you look like? Be a smile. So when I'm blessing somebody or offering the blessing at a bar bat mitzvah or wedding, I say, may God's face smile upon you and treat you with kindness. I think sometimes we forget about the duality of blessing, the two-sided nature, that when I say, may God smile on you, it also implies, may you continue to live your life and do things in a way that would cause God to smile. I can't tell you specifically all those things that would do that, but what I can tell you is that when we treat our world in a good way, when we treat other people with fairness, kindness, and love, when we go out of our way to help a person in need, when we protect others who are vulnerable for whatever reason, those are the things that, at least in the world I live in, make that God smile. It doesn't have to be a sun god giggling in the sky, but we can learn to imagine God with a face, and we'd want that face always to be pointing upward in a smile and not to frown upon us. And it's not something that just comes because, it's something that would occur because we have done things that actually are pleasing. Anyhow, I hope y'all went with me. I hope you got at least a few of those references that I made, and if not, I can't say I'm recommending going back and watching them, but a quick Google search would suffice on a lot of that. Shabbat shalom. I'll see you soon.